to give his presentation and remarks.
Thank you, Press Secretary. Good afternoon to the citizens of Grenada, Carriacou, and Petite Martinique. I greet you well. I trust that over the last several hours, you have been paying attention to the public information being put out by NADMA, and that you are taking the appropriate measures to secure yourself, your family, and your property. I want to start by reiterating the 11 a.m. briefing which Mr. Tamer has put out. The briefing indicates that Grenada is under hurricane warning. A hurricane warning is the highest threat level that is possible. It therefore means, in simple language, that Grenada is likely to be hit within the next 24 hours by Hurricane Beryl. As I said last night, this is not a drill. We need to be calm, we need to pray, but most importantly, we need to prepare. This morning, in driving around, I saw a number of persons engaging in open entertainment type activities, seemingly with no care in the world. By 2 a.m. tomorrow morning, we are expected to face significant rainfall, significant wind, and significant storm surge. So I want to urge all of us as citizens of Grenada that we use the next 6 hours to ensure that we prepare for the hurricane. It is not a storm anymore. It is a Category 3, likely to become Category 4 hurricane. The models are indicating that, one, we are likely to have devastating wind damage on Monday, where the eye wall of Beryl will move over the Windward Islands. One of the models indicate that it is possible that the eye of the hurricane may pass over the island of Carriacou. If that happens, it means all of Grenada, Petite Martinique, and Carriacou are going to be at the center of this hurricane. And so we need to take this seriously. 2, life-threatening storm surges are expected with water levels between 6 to 9 feet above normal tide levels in areas near onshore, should the hurricane make landfall in Grenada. It therefore means that persons who are living in low-lying areas prone to storm surge are required to evacuate this afternoon. As of midday, all the hurricane shelters throughout Petite Martinique, Carriacou, and Grenada are open. All of the shelter managers are in place. All of the district coordinators and deputy district coordinators have been mobilized. And so if there is a need for you to move, if you live in a low-lying area that is susceptible to storm surge, we urge you now, in the next 6 hours, to move to higher ground, move to family members who may live on higher ground, or move to a shelter that is nearest to you. The list of shelters are out. They've been circulated on social media. They've been circulated by the members of the media, thankfully, and so we ask you to familiarize yourself with the shelter that is closest to you. Rainfall. It is expected that up to 75 to 150 millimeters of rainfall may occur as a result of this. Mr. Tamer last night indicated that 100 millimeters of rainfall is the equivalent to rainfall that we received for the last 3 months in 24 hours. The model is predicting that we may get as much as 150 millimeters of rainfall. It therefore means that we may have significant precipitation and significant flooding. It is therefore important, again, that if you live in an area that is flood prone, that you evacuate, that you move to higher ground, move to family members who may have access to an area that does not flood, or if you have no other option, to please move into a shelter. It is not too early to move into shelters. We expect that the most severe weather will occur tonight, into the morning, and into the daytime tomorrow. It will be very difficult to move to a shelter while the storm is passing over Grenada, Carriacou, and Petite Martinique. And therefore, if you live in an area that is flood prone, if you live in an area that is susceptible to storm surges, we will urge you now to use the opportunity to move either into a shelter or to move into family members' homes who do not reside in those areas. In light of the 11 a.m. forecast and the likely impact of the storm potentially directly impacting Grenada, the Governor General will declare a state of emergency effective at 7 p.m. this evening. This state of emergency will last for initially 7 days unless earlier revoked. I'm going to repeat. In light of the 11 a.m. bulletin issued from the Hurricane Center and the Meteorology Office in Grenada and the likely impacts from the storm, we, via the Governor General, are declaring a state of emergency that will commence at 7 p.m. this evening. It will last for 7 days initially unless earlier revoked. It will be earlier revoked if we do not get a direct impact from the storm or if the damages are minimal. But in the meantime, we have no choice but to take all the necessary precautions. It therefore means, citizens of Grenada, that we should use the next 6 to 7 hours to prepare for riding out the storm. If you need to get groceries, you have the next 7 hours to do so. If you need to fill up on water, you have the next 7 hours to do so. Except for security forces, the police, prison officers, essential services workers, and other emergency personnel, after 7 p.m., no one will be expected to be on the roadways, and no one will be expected to be outside of their homes or a shelter, as the case may be. This is necessary to safeguard your life, to safeguard your limb, to safeguard our collective property and security. Electricity. GrenLec will keep the power on as long as it can without endangering the lives of the citizens. So there is no set time for the disconnection of electricity. It will remain on as long as possible because we appreciate that in a situation where people are being hunkered down, we want to make you as comfortable as possible. And so electricity will only be disconnected if it becomes necessary in the interest of safety to do so. Since last night, NWASA indicated that water will be taken at 9 p.m. tonight. So again, citizens, water is perhaps the most essential ingredient during times of natural disasters. And so it is vital that we stock up as much as possible on water. Now, we have until 9 p.m. It will be cut at 9 p.m. because of the likely turbidity that will come from the heavy rainfall, and in an attempt to protect the external plant of NWASA, the water will be cut. All police officers, as of 9 a.m., have been asked to return to work, and all leave have been cancelled. The same applies to all prison officers. The prison management, in conjunction with the Royal Grenada Police Force, is working to make sure that as much as possible we can properly secure the prisoners and secure the infrastructure at the prison. And the Royal Grenada Police Force will work with the prison management to provide the necessary support that is required in relation to ensuring that we take all necessary measures to safeguard the prisoners, as well as to safeguard the prison officers who will be required to work at the prison during this difficult time. 10 police officers were assigned to the RSS to assist with the just concluded ICC T20 tournament. We have asked that they be returned to Grenada, and the RSS is currently working on making sure that they get back here as soon as possible to assist us with the necessary measures. All of the various sector groups which make up the National Emergency Advisory Council have activated the hurricane plans, both the private sector and the public sector. And so we expect all of them over the next several hours to continue to brief their members, to continue to encourage them and to support them to make sure that they in fact activate and implement the hurricane plans. This is a time, naturally, that we all need to band together, that we all need to support each other, and we all need to ensure that we act in our collective best interests. We do not control the storm. We do not control the direction it will take. We do not control the force of its winds or the amount of rainfall that it will bring. What we do have control over is how well we prepare, both before the storm, during the storm, and after the storm. As the Prime Minister of this country, I wish to advise you that the Cabinet met at 11 a.m. in an emergency Cabinet meeting. The Cabinet and the Government of Grenada will give full support to all of the sectors that are required to make sure that during this difficult period that we stay safe, that we stay secure, and that we come out of this episode stronger and more united. The CARICOM meeting, which was scheduled to be held in Grenada this week, has been cancelled. My colleagues and I within the region are in regular contact. As you may be aware, St. Vincent, like Grenada, is on the hurricane warning, and so we are continuing to communicate with all of the regional bodies throughout the region to make sure that we provide the necessary support, that we provide the necessary communication that is required to make sure that all of us can help each other at this difficult time. So again, I want to conclude by asking us to remain prayerful, to prepare, to take this seriously, and to make sure that we do everything that we can to protect our lives, to protect our limbs, and to protect our property. We will continue to provide information as much as possible in a timely manner. As indicated from last night, we will do so every 3 hours. Should there be any need to have any additional briefings within the 3-hour period, we will do so. The Operations Center is fully activated. The communication team is fully activated. We thank the members of the media who have been supportive thus far and who have been assisting in disseminating accurate information and who have been encouraging members of the public to take this seriously and to prepare. We ask the media to continue doing so. There is no need to panic. There is no need to worry simply because panicking and worrying does not change the trajectory of the storm. We need to prepare. By preparing, we can give ourselves some comfort. We can certainly pray and ask God for His mercies at this time. And again, I assure you that we are committed to ensuring that we do everything that is possible to keep the nation safe. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Prime Minister. And of course, the watchword is prepare. We are here at the emergency